Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. The 2014 HIKI NŌ Awards recognized and honored the best HIKI NŌ stories from the 2013-2014 school year. In this special episode, we'll highlight this year's winners in the middle school division. But first, let's take a look at a major event leading up to the awards.
They say, you're just a kid. To keep your head down and listen and learn what you're given, but you have a story.
Bullying isn't acceptable.
With people and places and feelings and faces when all you have is a note. You have a story.
What culture do I live in?
In the late nights, the dark mornings, the minute you wake till the moment you nod, you have a story. It's waiting for that frame, that bite, that perfect line, that 1,000-word picture.
My family and I, we are considered homeless.
And it's there.
We're all human beings and we should all be treated equally.
You're a kid with a story. The world awaits.
A 2-hour compilation of all stories nominated for 2014 HIKI NŌ Awards was screened for the public in August at theaters on Maui, Hawaii, Oahu, and Hawaii Island in the first annual HIKI NŌ Festival. It gave students who had worked on nominated stories the chance to showcase their work on the big screen for the people in their own communities.
Tonight is really a celebration of all the great work on HIKI NŌ.
Are you ready to get started?
The screening at the Consolidated Ward Theaters on Oahu drew hundreds of HIKI NŌ students and teachers. Also in attendance were industry professionals and stakeholders in Hawaii education who expressed how impressed they are with the quality of work they've seen in HIKI NŌ.
As someone who's a strong supporter of public schools, I think our students are brilliant. And actually, the higher standards that we create, the more incredible pieces come out from these students. So in that sense, what I'm looking at when I watch HIKI NŌ, there are some that are just very, very top-notch professional storytelling, and great shooting and wonderful editing.
There's been so much wonderful talent coming out of all the schools. The kids have so many great stories to tell, and they find a way to tell stories that are true to themselves, that speak to the broadest possible audience. So I think it's wonderful that you folks have given them the platform in which to show off their work.
There are times where I've watched HIKI NŌ and I've actually teared up because they know how to get that human interest story, and they know how to touch the audience and how to speak through to the audience. So from that, I would say after I watch a HIKI NŌ program, I just feel a sense of pride.
I just think that it's such a good opportunity for students to be able to showcase their work on a local TV level, and that HIKI NŌ is actually putting students' work out there so that all their stories can be told, and they're giving us a voice so that we can speak on television.
What I get out of it is just a great experience working with the kids. I love to watch how they create, and starting from the beginning with just finding a story or finding a topic, and watching them go through the process and ending up with this story, and having something that's recognized like this, that's just icing on the cake. But I just love watching the kids work.
I think HIKI NŌ encourages a lot of pride in your community and your school, so you tend to look for those stories and you want to tell those stories. I think that's what HIKI NŌ encourages students to do.
Less than a month after the HIKI NŌ Festival, the judging scores from a panel of broadcast and journalism veterans had been tabulated. Then, on September 17th, PBS Hawaii President and CEO Leslie Wilcox and Bank of Hawaii Foundation President Donna Tanoue announced the winners of the 2014 HIKI NŌ Awards in a live, online-only awards ceremony on pbshawaii.org. In this episode, we'll take a look at the judging criteria for each award category and the middle school nominees and winners in those categories.
The first award is for Best News Writing, and judging in this category was based on the following criteria. Did they tell a compelling, well-thought-out story? Did they clearly present the information needed for the viewer to understand the story and/or issue at hand?
If it was an issue-based story, did the reporter provide differing perspectives on that issue? And did the story hold our interest, and did it end with a satisfying or thought-provoking conclusion? Was it well written?
The nominees for Best News Writing Middle School Division are
Aliamanu Middle School for transitioning to middle school.
In elementary school, students are getting ready to take the next big step in life, middle school. At Aliamanu Elementary, the 6th graders are preparing for their transition over to Aliamanu Middle.
Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School for Friendship House.
The Friendship House is a global effort to try and get members back into their normal routines.
It's our job to help make sure that they get the opportunities that anybody else in life has, whether they want to go to school or go to work or any other opportunity to enhance their well-being in their life.
YNI Intermediate for Bullied Teacher.
The changes made at school have allowed Luis Sanchez to move past the bullying and move towards forgiveness.
I love all of my students, and I understand that middle school is a really tough time, but I guess the main thing I would want them to know is that I forgive them.
And Waipahu Intermediate School for Waipahu Smokestack.
Standing for more than 100 years. It is a symbol of an old way of life.
This area is really special because the stack represents all of what the sugar cane industry did for Hawaii.
And winner for Best News Writing Middle School Division is, here we go.
And the winner is Waianae Intermediate School for Bullied Teacher.
To label the writing. So what I mean by that,
Fitting in is something that everyone has a hard time with, especially when you're growing up.
When I was younger, I wasn't into sports. I wasn't into stereotypical things that guys were into.
But for Luis Sanchez, fitting in was the least of his problems because
when I was younger, I was bullied by other students. They would not want to sit by me. I was called sissy.
The name-calling and bullying he experienced affected him deeply.
It made me feel worthless. It made me feel like I didn't matter. One time in middle school, I did try to commit suicide. And one time in high school, I tried again.
As he grew up, he thought the bullying was finally over.
So I'm multiplying 1 by 5. There was an incident at the school where students were writing things. Mr. Sanchez is gay around my walls. And among other things, among my outside walls. It made me feel like I was in elementary school again. It made me feel like somehow I didn't have control over it, even though I do, because I'm an adult.
But this time, he was not alone.
Mr. Sanchez did not deserve to be treated that way, and I think those kids should have some consequences.
He had come to work every day for 2 months and saw that all over the walls outside his room, and it was disheartening, just really, really upsetting to see a teacher getting bullied by his own students.
At the start of each school year, all YNI Intermediate students are given a Chapter 19 booklet that explains the rules governing student discipline and misconduct under state law.
I went into each classroom and had a discussion with the kids about Chapter 19 all over again, with the focus on bullying and how bullying isn't acceptable, nor is it tolerated on the YNI Intermediate School campus for any student or teacher.
In spite of a few bad apples, there are students who look up to him.
You can always go to him when you need someone to talk to, like even though it's not about school or math or anything. Like if you want to talk to him about problems or anything, you can go to him.
I think he's a really good teacher. I really like him a lot. No matter what he goes through at this school, he keeps trying, he doesn't give up.
By not giving up, Sanchez has brought positive changes to the school.
There were several teachers that came to have a meeting with me and gave me some contacts of people who could come in and educate both teachers and students about bullying in general.
The changes made in school have allowed Luis Sanchez to move past the bullying and move towards forgiveness.
I love all of my students, and I understand that middle school is a really tough time, but I guess the main thing I would want them to know is that I forgive them.
This is Lehalia Punui reporting from Waianae Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
Moving on to the next category, Best Personal Profile. That's a HIKI NŌ story that centers around an individual, and judging in this category was based on the following criteria. Did they create a compelling portrait of the featured person? Were they able to use interviews to tell a strong, structured story with a distinct beginning, middle, and end? Do you feel we got to know the featured person? Were the visual elements compelling? And did they help to tell the story? And the nominees for Best Personal Profile Middle School Division are
Kainalu Elementary School for Alan Nagao.
Alan became an expert at doing yo-yo tricks. When he got older, he had an idea and approached the American Toy Company to market their yo-yos.
In 1 year, we sold 10.5 million yo-yos.
Kamehameha School's Maui Middle for Substitute Teacher.
I realized that this was a really great way for me to fit in a little bit with the Hawaiian community. Being a teacher at Kamehameha Schools has enriched my life.
Lahaina Intermediate School for Crossing Guard.
Uncle Harold, the crossing guard for King Kamehameha III Elementary School in Lahaina, Maui, has kept his community safe.
I think I'm more blessed and more people with better jobs.
And Seabury Hall Middle School for 21st Century Cowgirl.
I like the bond between me and my horse. It's a different type of connection just because you can't talk to her. When I'm riding and getting ready to do a run, I can actually feel her heartbeat and her excitement and her adrenaline through my saddle.
Each of those stories could easily be the winner.
Totally agree.
But the winner for Best Personal Profile Middle School Division is...
And here we go. Seabury Hall Middle School for 21st Century Cowgirl.
Well, that's an accomplishment. Congratulations, Seabury.
Liloa Eomaikalani Akoi Reber is known to her friends and teachers at Seabury Hall as a budding artist and an exemplary student. What many do not know is that while she has kept up with a rigorous academic schedule at school, she is at the same time pursuing another passion. Liloa is an accomplished rodeo athlete and champion roper. Her interest in horses is not by accident. Rodeo has been a part of her family for generations. Liloa's great-grandmother was a rodeo cowgirl and passed on many of her rodeo talents to Liloa.
Yeah, my dad's side of the family comes from a pretty cowboy background. They're from Hana, but my great-grandmother was born on Upalaku Ranch, where I live now, and that's where my dad works. My great-grandmother's name is Thelma Nani Ka'aihui Smith. She was a cowgirl. She really liked doing barrel racing.
Her father and mother have taught her the Paniolo traditions.
I've been riding since I was 3 years old, but I started doing rodeo when I was in 1st grade. And so when I was little, my mom kind of got me into riding. And so she started me with lessons, and then that's when I started getting into rodeo. Both of my parents have been super supportive of my rodeo, but my dad's kind of been like my sidekick in it all. He travels with me and almost everywhere I go, and he knows how to keep me calm and stuff. I'm comfortable with my horse. I can go out in the pasture and jump on my horse bareback without a halter and ride her around, and I really with my horse, I really ride her with my seat, which means that I don't really use a lot of my hands, and it's more of the feel that I have so she knows where to go. And so I'll lean a certain way and she'll know to turn a certain way. I like the bond between me and my horse. It's a different type of connection just because you can't talk to her, express different types of emotions, and when I'm riding and going and
getting ready to do a run, I can actually like feel her heartbeat and like her excitement and her adrenaline through my saddle. You really have to trust your horse and be able to just like give them your all, because you're going like top speed on an animal and taking turns that are like really gnarly, and you just kind of like have to be one with your horse.
Liloa plans to continue pursuing her passion for rodeo into college and further, keeping her family's Paniolo tradition alive. This is Shelby Ferrier from Seabury Hall Middle School reporting for HIKI NŌ.
Let's move ahead to the next category, the Best Home-Based School. Now, every HIKI NŌ school is hosted by a home-based school. Through the course of the show, the anchors weave a story about their school and community through a series of vignettes. The judging for this category was based on the following criteria: the on-camera and/or voiceover presence of the anchors, their diction and articulation, expressiveness and confidence, the production quality of the anchor shots and accompanying visuals, the creativity and writing quality of the vignette scripts, and how well the vignettes give a sense of what it's like to be a part of the school and/or community. The nominees for Best Home-Based School Middle School Division are
Aliamanu Middle School.
Salt Lake is located inside of an extinct volcanic crater called Aliapa'akai, meaning salt pond in Hawaiian. The salt lake was once 1.5 kilometers across and it was very shallow. So, an artesian well was dug to get more fresh water into the lake, push salt out, and to increase the amount of water inside the lake.
Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School.
Nowadays, students don't need to bring any cash to school to purchase their meals. Parents make a prepayment into their child's account, and each student uses his or her ID badge to make a purchase in our cafeteria. Regular lunches now cost $2.25.
Seabury Hall Middle School.
Every spring, families from all over the island visit Seabury to shop for products made by local crafters, play carnival games, and eat delicious food. All of the money that is made during the craft fair goes to financial aid for students.
And Waianae Intermediate School.
Every year, Waianae Intermediate holds a career day to give students an opportunity to interact with industry professionals from an array of occupations. Guest speakers from various careers speak with 8th grade students about their job requirements.
And the winner for Best Home-Based School Middle School Division is
Aliamanu Middle School.
Aliamanu, congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody.
Here's a look at some of the home-based vignettes from the winning school, Aliamanu Middle.
Welcoming you from the Salt Lake area on the island of Oahu, we are the Mighty Panthers of Aliamanu Middle School. Our school was founded in 1959 and is just minutes away from the Honolulu International Airport and Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. That pretty much explains why most of the students at our school have a connection with the military and the federal government. This makes it all the more important that we have special programs such as the Welcome Back Assembly and the Spirit Games that help students build new relationships and strengthen old ones.
And we're back at Aliamanu Middle School in Salt Lake, Oahu. There are many interesting things that go on here. It's not just what's happening inside the classrooms that's being noticed, it's what's happening on top of the buildings that's getting people's attention. Our school is part of a statewide program to utilize photovoltaic energy systems. These solar panels, which were installed in 40 other schools, will generate enough energy to save the state more than $7.7 million over 20 years. Moreover, each school was given a flat screen monitor that will allow students to keep track of the power that is being generated and the amount of carbon reduced and energy saved as a result of the solar panel system.
We're back to this community of Salt Lake here in Honolulu. Our school campus is just a few blocks away from the actual lake where this area gets its name. Salt Lake is located inside of an extinct volcanic crater called Aliapa'akai, meaning salt pond in Hawaiian. The salt lake was once 1.5 kilometers across and it was very shallow. So, an artesian well was dug to get more fresh water into the lake, push salt out, and to increase the amount of water inside the lake. This process was actually successful, and the salt lake today is now a freshwater one. In fact, it's a prominent feature of the Honolulu Country Club. Pretty interesting, huh?
The final category is for Best Overall News Story. Judging in this category was based on the following criteria, Donna.
Did they tell a compelling, informative story? Did they use an effective combination of imagery, the written word, interview sound bites, and natural sound? Was the pacing in terms of the editing and the speed of the reporters speaking appropriate to the story being told?
Was the reporter's presentation clear and commanding? Did the story offer something of relevance to the general viewing public? Did it follow good journalistic practices?
And the nominees for Best Overall News Story Middle School Division are
Chiefess Kamakahele Middle School for Kapa'a Gridlock.
The traffic congestion has been very frustrating for the residents. On bad days, it can take up to 5 times longer than usual.
A little bit of the traffic that we have right now is caused by construction, so that's problem number one. The second problem is a lot of people rent a car to be on this island.
Kainalu Elementary School for Tales of Aloha.
Tales of Aloha works with the Humane Society and goes on visitations to schools, nursing homes, private homes, and hospitals. The program has only a limited amount of volunteers and animals, while the demand is greater.
Kawaihona o Kana'awao for Trans-Global Voyage.
The purpose and mission of the Worldwide Voyage is to take these 2 canoes safely around the planet and start a discussion about what this planet needs to do and what we need to do as people to make sure that we bring about, once again, healthy environments to the sea and to our island Earth.
Seabury Hall Middle School for Sea Turtles in Peril.
Green sea turtles go back over 100 million years before the dinosaurs. But a modern disease, fibropapilloma, or FP, is threatening these ancient survivors. It is a serious virus that can sometimes be deadly.
And Waianae Intermediate School for Raquel's World.
Raquel Largo is an 8th grade student at Waianae Intermediate School. From the time she was in 5th grade, she knew something didn't feel right inside of her body.
When I was little, actually, some kids would call me or ask me if I'm a boy or a girl because the way my hair was or the way I would do things.
And the winner for Best Overall News Story Middle School Division is...
Waianae Intermediate School for Raquel's World.
Fabulous, terrific. Another Waianae win.
Congratulations.
In 6th grade, I started to wear makeup and I looked at other people and see how I'm different from them and knew that someday I would be this way.
Raquel Largo is an 8th grade student at Waianae Intermediate School. From the time she was in 5th grade, she knew something didn't feel right inside of her body.
When I was little, actually, some kids would call me or ask me if I'm a boy or a girl because the way my hair was or the way I would do things. When I was a boy, I didn't do much with my look or anything.
Raquel was born a male named Royce and is a transgender person. A transgender person is someone who identifies with the gender that is opposite from the gender they are born into. So a person who was born a male but later identifies as a woman is transgender and vice versa. There is a difference between being identified as transgender as compared to being identified as being transsexual.
Transsexual would be someone who takes hormones or does something surgically to identify to that sex that they identify with. Transgender would have not done anything to their body to identify as that gender, as that male or female gender.
In the 7th grade, Raquel finally decided to transition into being transgender, identifying as a female. She was only 13 years old at the time.
Well, it's very rare for someone to identify as one at an early age, but it does happen.
Being a student in middle school is tough enough, but being a transgender student presents its own set of challenges.
I've been bullied a lot, called a lot of names that weren't so nice, and I just didn't think any of it because I knew becoming this I would get bullied.
According to the 2011 National School Climate Survey report, nearly 64% of transgender students in middle school and high school in the United States are verbally harassed in school.
People are ignorant to the fact that we're all human beings and we're all equal.
She's still the same person, she still has the same personality, and she's still my friend.
As an 8th grader, Raquel has been challenging the people around her to view the world differently. Waianae Intermediate School Administration is examining arrangements needed for transgender students.
The transgender student is treated just as any other student is on campus. The consideration that we need to put in place are the logistics, such as having a gender-neutral bathroom.
It would feel awkward to go in a boys' bathroom like this because I know that a lot of boys don't appreciate or accept the way I am.
All the support she has received has made a world of difference in her successful transition.
I support her in every way, whichever way she wants to go, socially, mentally, physically, in every aspect of her life.
I know that I can come out and be who I wanted to be, knowing that there are people who love me and support me.
Living as a female, she finally feels accepted and can be her true self.
I want to be judged positively because no matter what I look like, pretty, ugly, boy, girl, because we're all human beings and we should all be treated equally.
This is Lehalia Panui reporting from Waianae Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
We want to congratulate all of the winning schools, all the nominees, and every HIKI NŌ student and every HIKI NŌ teacher for your exceptional work. This was an extraordinarily close competition, we're told, by those who tabulated the results from the judges who all decided individually and independently. Before we sign off, we'd like to recap all of the 2014 HIKI NŌ Award winners.
Best News Writing Middle School Division went to Waianae Intermediate.
The award for Best Personal Profile Middle School Division went to Seabury Hall Middle School.
The award for Best Home-Based School Middle School Division went to Aliamanu Middle.
And the award for Best Overall News Story Middle School Division went to Waianae Intermediate. From the PBS Hawaii studios in Manoa, in Honolulu, aloha hui ho. Thanks for joining us.
Tune in next week when we present the nominees and winners in the high school division of the 2014 HIKI NŌ Awards. Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo, and by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.